Alrighty. It honestly feels like I did this the other day with you, Neal. It was the week before you left for the Labor Day Classic, and we were both going at that point. And you have continued this streak now of 25 years in a row. This is your 25th anniversary, which is quite incredible, to be honest. I mean, good grief. But
Yeah, it's my silver anniversary, but I
it's
still
your
want to wear gold, so
yes.
I'll figure it out.
It is kind of crazy, and I know you go on the bus tours and that sort of thing, and all that fun stuff, and um, like you say, it never gets old. So, what are you looking forward to this year with the Labor Day game?
Yeah, it's seeing the people that I sometimes only see once a year. I have some friends out in Regina,
Mhm.
and a couple of the pair of them that do a podcast together, a CFL podcast, and one drives all the way in from Red Deer, and the other one in
Right.
Regina, and we all sort of meet, and that's sort of our one day a year, that we get to sort of hang out together and enjoy each other's company. So shout out to the Two and Out CFL podcast and Travis and Sheldon. They do a very good job, and they're a fan of you as well too. So it's
Well, I am appreciate that. I am trying to get Travis on the show, so I did inbox him and whatever. So again, all in due time. So that's pretty good. I mean. Yeah, I guess once you do this show for a while, word does get around. I mean, I was talking with somebody after the last Bomber game. He's not even on social media. He's heard of the show, so I was like, okay, you must be doing something. I must be doing something right, and
there you
that's
go.
a good thing. So, but it is kind of interesting this year with the Bombers. Last year, it was the struggle of the 2-6. And this year kind of feels like a bit of a struggle. Let's just be honest.
I
Uh,
mean, you don't want to
it,
blame injuries, but
right.
it's true. And when quarterbacks and receivers have to have timing and have to have a rhythm, and when you have a whole bunch of new guys,
Yeah.
that takes a while. And that was very evident last year with the 0-4 start. And I think it's kind of evident now. I mean, Schoen coming back is great. Uh, Fingers crossed Dembski might be able to play this week or next week. So
Mhm.
um, that always helps. But once we sort of get some continuity, um, and, and dressing a couple of games in a row with the same receivers, that'll make a huge difference.
Yeah. No doubt, right? And they brought in a couple guys this week in Moore and then in the kid from Calgary. I was actually I sent a friend request to Moore. We were kind of inboxing here a couple hours ago. He's happy to be here. So I mean, there's all that going on. Uh, there's definitely lots of move. Everybody thinks okay, NFL cuts come up here. Defensively, losing Terrell Bond, but then. Houston, we don't have a problem. Houston's come back. So, yeah,
Well, I hope he knows the offense or the defense well enough, and he can maybe just slide right in, and that'll shore up one side. So that
yeah, yeah, most definitely, right? And do you feel like the Bombers have more added pressure this year, with the Grey Cup in our own backyard?
I mean, of course. I mean, there was that talk years ago that the Bombers were supposed to host the Grey Cup last year, and then when the ownership changed in BC, that BC kind of snuck in and got it a year early. And I think the Bombers were planning on it being last year, and that was seemed to be the end of sort of our core being together.
Right.
We got a lot of new faces. I mean, we had a few last year, but a lot more this year. And football is all about familiarity, and when that disappears, it takes some time. Now we have to have it, you know, catch up pretty fast because it's a 1 year type of thing. But I feel happy that this might be one of the best Bomber teams to host a Grey Cup and actually have a shot at making it. I know 91 we made it to the East final, but we got destroyed by the Argos.
Yeah.
And but all the other years I don't even think we if we made the 1 year '06 I think we made the playoffs, but the other years we were one of the last teams in the league in 2015 and in 98. So it'd
Right.
be nice to actually, sort of be in the conversation and look like we should be able to make the playoffs and maybe have that chance to, be in our home dressing room for that big game. So
Well, like I would feel optimistic. There is that nagging of okay, they lost all three games to Calgary. So last year they didn't lose a season series, so that's going on, right? Um,
Except
Saskatchewan,
Toronto.
what's that?
Except Toronto, we lost all three games to them,
Yeah, yes, we
including
did.
the
Yeah,
big one.
yes. Yeah, no question,
But
right?
aside from that,
Um,
yes, that was true. I mean, the Calgary is they're just a I can't figure them out. They've messed me up and pick them all season long. I mean, they beat us three times, they beat Saskatchewan twice, and then have massive struggles against everybody else. And yeah, that's I'm shocked and baffled by them. And every week it's kind of a mystery to me. So I
well, I
guess I
mean,
should my initial
they're
instinct to pick them.
definitely, yeah, they're exceeding expectations to a point, but you've lost both games to Ottawa,
That's my point.
right? Yeah.
It's hard to judge what they're going to do. I'm still not totally sold on Vernon Adams, but he has a great record against us. He just kind of can't lose, and their defense is good. I think they look tough to beat, or at least in the games they've played us and the games they've played Saskatchewan. They look really good.
Mhm.
Um, Granted, they had some injury. I know Vernon Adams was out for a bit, so that definitely didn't help. But
No, it didn't, right? And a lot of people thought they would struggle and it would be a Winnipeg, Saskatchewan kind of thing going on, but let's not
still
forget
hope it
about.
will be. I mean, we got three games against Saskatchewan. Two of them are at home. That's a benefit. That helps us a little bit. Could we get two wins out of three against them? That would be great. But I mean, let's at least work on the first one.
Yeah, and historically, Labor Day isn't the kindest to the Bombers. Even last year, right? They're ahead, and then Claris goes out.
Wow, that
Uh,
made all the difference in the world when
it,
when he got hurt at halftime or just before halftime, and I think we only had one first down in the entire second half of that game. We hung on. All kudos to Strevler. He got the couple of first downs and or was it one first down and got us into field goal range for a long one to kind of give us the
mhm,
ultimately winning points.
yeah.
So good on him for that. But yeah, we needed a couple of first downs in that game and it would have been over, but we just let Saskatchewan hang around and then Banjo Bowl came and yeah, it wasn't it wasn't close. So as bad as my 24 years I've gone to Labor Day, this being my 25th, I've seen seven wins and that's
Yes.
not it's not great, but in that time the return leg, the rematch game, you know, we dominate that game more than Saskatchewan dominates us on Labor Day. So
Yeah.
it is weird that the home team generally always wins. And never once in that time has the away team won both games. So if the away team wins the first one, we always win the second.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Except what in 2018, right? Well, in 2018, the Riders won here. That's the last time they've won
And they
here.
won there. Zach's his last game against us.
Yes. Yeah,
Because he
it
never
is
loses Labor Day.
right. It is a different type of animal. It is a different type of game. Like again, I saw the three tickets pop up on the 1930 crew. I'm like, okay, I work Monday. I'm just trying to get. Maybe me and the kids will leave. I'll leave Saturday afterward.
And they've
Yeah,
gone to a late start again. I mean, over these 25 years, they started late games, then they
yeah.
went back to having, like 1 or 2 o'clock starts in the afternoon,
Mhm.
they've last few years they've gone back to it being what is it? It's 5 o'clock local, so 6 o'clock central.
Right.
Um, my friends and I, we all weigh whether or not we like the early game better or the late game. Is it nice to just sort of keep rolling, get up and go to a game early and then have the whole evening to do whatever we want, or is it nice to have that I almost think I like the later start so you can kind of get up, you can relax a little more, and then you have a long day to kind of do what you want. And then at the end of the night, it's like, well, whether you win or lose, most times people are pretty tired anyways and just want to get ready to plan going home the next day.
Well, I get you on that because I was at my aunt and uncle's there, and well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to church or do you want to stay here? I said, well, I brought clothes, but for church, but yeah, we can stay here. So then we were gonna have everybody over for the supper and early lunch, and then my uncle drove us to Wayne's World, and that was a hoot. picked us up at the McDonald's, and then we were good to go. Um, so yeah, yeah, with that type of game, considering how many Bomber fans get there, it allows those people that live in Winnipeg that can still drive out the same day.
That's
That's
actually,
how
yeah,
I would come with it.
that's a good point.
And then yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot more Bomber fans that travel west and go to Regina for Labor Day than the return leg next week in Banjo Bowl. Granted, we have the long weekend that benefits us. I totally get that,
right.
but yeah, it would almost be nice if there could be another long weekend in a row. But yeah, having Banjo Bowl on a Saturday night is significantly better than having it on a. They were trying to do it on Sunday, and that would kind of tear into NFL, which I know a lot of people don't like. I know there's still a little bit of CFL versus NFL, but
Right.
that's not to go against it. I feel.
Well, I got family pictures week one on the Sunday, which is totally good. And my mom's birthday's coming up. But I remember you talking to me. Did you talk to me about this at Wayne's World last year about how you mentioned this to Hustler and then he brought it up on the air? Was there something to that?
I did, and it was literally a couple days later, it was Tuesday or something like that, and he guess he wrote it down on his phone and he started talking about it, and then everyone was calling in saying yes, it's incredibly weird of the CFL to have games try to go against the NFL or try to go against at least week one,
Right.
and I mean, Banjo Bowl sells out and it's a hot ticket and everyone still wants to go, but wouldn't you wouldn't you attract more viewers? Wouldn't you attract more people to that game on a Saturday? Um, you probably sell more concessions and some drinks on a Saturday as well too. And I mean, we have a tailgate that goes that day, and the last couple of years we've gotten there just before 8 a.m. So it's an all day event that starts early, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Labor Day might be the only thing that tops it in my mind.
Right. Yeah, it is a full 2 weeks of like mayhem. Yeah, and I remember last year leaving the house here at 10 a.m. and you get back at 7 o'clock. Now the game this year's at 3. It's a 3 to 6. Gates open up at noon. Um Zach Williams will be performing here in Steinbach. So my parents are coming to the game, so that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that with my
Nice.
son. So and so yeah, it brings up all that whole that family atmosphere, right? And that's what football hits on. Again, listening to the Rod Peterson show today with Dr. Football Dave Patrician, they were just talking about it, and they were saying how more Bomber fans are going to Regina now than even from 10 years ago. It's kind of like the late 80s, early 90s. And I thought to myself, yeah, when I was there in 2015, it was kind of the same thing. Like there weren't a lot of Bomber fans around. And now that
So there
narrative's
was.
changed.
When I started going, there was a lot. 2000, I could not believe how many were there.
Yeah,
And we sort of estimated somewhere in the 4 to 5,000 range. We thought, wow, that's a lot because they were mostly on the east side, and it
yeah,
seemed like we took up a quarter or a third of the east side. And then all of a sudden, the next year, 2001, and we had that great season. And I mean, that was also my first win I saw, which was fantastic.
yeah.
They were saying there was probably closer to 7,000 Bomber fans at that game, and it was noticeably louder. And then over those next few years, up till about 2004, there was many buses going. There was the, 5 to 7,000 fans going to every game, and the losing streak started. And between 2005 and 2019, we only won a single game, which is the greatest Labor Day game that I've ever seen. Thank you, Medlock, for that winning field goal. Um, but in that stretch, it just seemed like the hardcore fans would still go, but the casuals were starting to, I don't know, sort of think, well, maybe it's not as fun a weekend when we never win. And
Right.
when you lose 11 in a row, that year, 2016, my friend Mike and I went, and everyone we talked to, I'm looking leading up to it. Or you're still going to go? No, I'm not going this year. And then all the bus tours were, they either weren't going or they had only maybe one or two buses instead of three or four. It was just a significantly smaller amount of people trying to make that trip. And all the people we talked to, say the night before, the day of, they were all people that said, "Oh, this is my first game," or "This is my, second or third." And it was all the long-term people that had been going had all just basically said, "I've had enough. I'm not going." And Mike and I were very proud to have said we hung through and we 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 persevered and we got to see that win. And I will tell you that that was the quietest Sunday night in Regina I have ever seen. We went to the old pump out in Victoria, out in the east side of town, and this is a massive, massive place, and it probably holds 500 people, and there might have been 70, and I'll bet you 50 or 60 were Bomber fans, and it was absolutely dead, but it was just such a quiet happiness that everyone had. We had a couple of drinks, we had some food, and we kind of went to bed happy. It was really sort of anticlimactic in the evening part, but
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it picked up again because as soon as the new stadium opened up, people got a little more excited about it. And I think basically post-pandemic, I mean, we win a couple of cups and people sort of get excited again. And I'll say the last 2 years have rivaled anything that I've seen from say the early 2000s as far as attendance wise from the blue and gold. And this year is seems incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, all the extra buses going and all the extra cars. The hotels are kind of all full, which is another good indicator.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I
it should
know.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah,
The only
it
problem is
should be
Saskatchewan's
right.
got a good football team, so it's not gonna be easy. And that,
No, and that's what you want, right? You have kind of a reestablished culture, and yeah, we like to beat up on the rival, but it's good when the rivalry when they're both teams are good, right? And that's the greatest test of all.
oh, the memorable games are the ones that are close, right? Yeah, the blowouts are well, we haven't really had any winning blowouts. I'll say that. All the wins have always been kind of close.
Well, yeah, as I say, I go back to last year, and I still remember. I'm thinking, okay, and I told Jefferson this at the faith night. I said, like, okay, he's hanging out like he's at the beach. That onside kick ain't gonna go well. And I just had to, and then we all know they recovered, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I had Buddy inboxing me, and are you kidding me? I was like, I can't believe what's going on. And then what I remember is on Bonfire Sports, they showed a picture of the upper deck, and you were in jubilation after
Oh,
that.
yeah, I was incredibly happy. I decided that on that last 2 point conversion to decide to film myself
Yes.
and the people that were all behind me. And I thought, well, this will be really good if we stop them. I'm like, and if we don't, at least it goes to overtime. And so when TSN showed the play, then they showed us in the upper deck, and there's me holding my phone out filming myself, and I had a lot of people going, "You're on your phone. What are you doing?" I'm like, I wasn't really looking at my phone. I just was until after the play. But it was really cool because that's the one bonus of going with the tour group is that you get to sit with a lot of blue and gold, and two of the other tour groups are all sitting kind of near us, so it's inundated with a lot of green, so that
Right.
it helps with the morale and the excitement. So
Well, definitely, right? I mean, last year one of my kids was like, riders suck, like I don't want to get in a fight, like uh, this picture behind me, not that we were ever in that situation, but this picture behind me, that was from Labor Day 2003, and I have to get a better screen, but that says Sellers is the combine, the riders of the wheat. We were in the west side. There were guys saying you're in the wrong seat, so I'm 24 years old at the time. This sign gets ripped up. I had a beverage spilt on me. The guy gets ejected. It was quite memorable, but the Bombers won, I believe 37 to 18-ish, I
yep,
think. So
yeah, that was one of the few that I would say that was sort of out of hand. Like we won, and it was sort of a I don't know, not a blowout, but it was a significant victory where it wasn't in doubt going into the last few minutes. A few of the other ones, I remember 2001 was very, very hectic. We sort of just held on,
yeah.
and the Riders were not great that year, and we were kind of a juggernaut, and we still could barely win that game. So
Hmm.
that's just kind of how this weekend goes. The Riders just figure it out, and we could be 7-1, and they could be 1-7, like 20 or yeah,
2011.
2011, and we can figure out a way to lose and they can figure out a way to win. It doesn't records don't mean anything. So yeah.
No.
Although I
No.
will say we've only ever won a single in that and all the time I've been going, we've only won a single game when we've been the underdog. and I believe it was 2004. Um, every other game, we either lost as the underdog or we win as the favorite, but
Right.
we definitely lost a few as the favorite, which is definitely not as much fun. But
No, I'm having flashbacks to the Kerry Joseph run in 2007, and these uh these sorts of like that game was right there, and it's just yeah, but it is kind of there, it is kind of Regina's Super Bowl. I think the morale around Mosaic Stadium is getting better, but I what I will credit, and maybe this is kind of the homer pick, is viewpoint of it. I think Bomber fans do add to that tremendously. If Bomber fans aren't there, I don't think it's nearly as
well,
enthusiastic.
it makes them cheer harder too, right? Because
Yeah.
they see 5,000 fans in a different color cheering for the other team, and that makes them more vocal. And it's not like they need a lot of motivation. They're a loud crowd, and I've said that many times. It's a loud stadium.
Yeah.
Ours is louder, but theirs is loud. It's great. It's 1 and 2 in the league, and it's nothing else is close. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Well,
it helps. Our stadium design helps a little bit with it, the way our roof is and the way our fans are sitting a little tighter, a little higher up,
yeah.
and like sort of closer to the action. You sit a little further away at Mosaic, but it's a beautiful stadium, and I'm so happy that for the most part in the league, they either have relatively new stadiums or upgraded ones. We just need to get someone in Calgary to fix that that stadium there.
Yeah, I think if anybody thinks there's red tape in Winnipeg or Regina, I mean, I haven't taken looks in Calgary, but they're hosting the Grey Cup in 2026. There's talks of Olympic Games. Like, get it together, Calgary. That's all. I'll just
Oh
plug it.
yeah, maybe it'll get that facelift. It's been much needed, when something like that comes in, and then they kind of have to do something about it.
Right.
I mean, I can think of Winnipeg Stadium. I can think of the old Taylor Field, and McMahon might be worse than both of them. It's Taylor Field was it. You had to really enjoy what it was. But it was old. I remember going there thinking like our stadium was old
Yeah.
and kind of in need of a facelift. But it had kind of got a bit of an upgrade around the '99 Pan Am Games where they put in the nice seats and they sort of fixed a little of the
Right.
concourse um, and then of course not having the gold eyes there anymore also kind of helped.
Well, that's exactly it. And I remember when I lived in Saskatchewan with Taylor Field, they actually they put suites on the east side at the top. That was never there.
Right? Yep.
But that west side is higher.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And had an upper deck. Yep.
You're like, okay,
It was high. Yeah, you sat up
you
really high.
you were up, you were high, and it's like, and in Winnipeg, like I'm row 16, any higher. I mean, but at the old stadium, it was nearly not as high as that one. So
Yeah, it's I was kind of shocked. There was a lot of a lot of sort of winding back and forth to get up to that upper deck. It was
yeah.
it was a trek to get up
Yes.
there. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I always had a great time. The last few years they had put some temporary seating that sort of became permanent. It was almost like permanently temporary
Mhm.
these sort of bleachers in the end zones, and then they put private suites kind of above them. And so my friend, when he first started going in 2012, he sat in those seats. And he was like, "Well, Taylor Field's not that bad." And they had a ton of porta potties in the end zone, so bathrooms weren't a problem
Right.
because the east side was awful for bathrooms and how much of a mess would just get created by the lineups being so long and people getting impatient. Um, and I was trying to tell him, I said, as much as this is, sitting in these temporary bleachers, this is a palace compared to where to being on that east side. So but yeah, it's nicer to sit on the sides and a little higher up, and even going back to the how TSN picks us out. We're the last sort of 5 rows of the upper deck on about the 20-yard line. We are not close down. We are not within
Mhm.
sort of TV eye shot normally.
Nope.
And so kudos to TSN for always sort of finding us up there. But again, there's a few hundred of us, so it probably makes it easy. We're probably one of the loudest groups all in one spot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, TSN is good at doing that, especially in Mosaic Field. I mean, a few years ago, I was watching a Lions Riders game, and I'm like, "There's my Uncle Kevin clapping his hands like he was right there." I'm like, "Holy smokes!" And he's in the upper deck. He was in the upper deck on the rider's side, kind of in the corner, and you're fairly high up there too. So I had this good laugh. I'm like, just confirm with my wife, is that Uncle Kevin? Yes, it is Uncle Kevin. So and then he goes, hey, thanks for my 15 minutes of fame and that sort of thing. So it's all good. So when do you leave? When do you leave for Labor Day? Pardon me.
We head out probably around 8 a.m. or so on Saturday morning. There's always a stop in Brandon, which is a lot of fun because the Bombers sort of set up like a little sort of makeshift store in the sort of the parking lot where there's I think an Esso station, a Tim Hortons, and I think now a KFC.
Yeah.
But it's great. Usually the bus tours all stop there. So if you sort of time it around, late morning, like 11, 12 kind of thing to get there, then there's usually, a few hundred people kind of milling around that parking lot and, checking out the merchandise that the Bombers bring their little portable store, and the cheerleaders are out and they have things that you can kind of pose up against and get photos up. And yeah, it is quite an event that's just leading you, like we still have 4 hours to keep driving or whatever, three and
Yeah.
a half hours to so keep going, but it's just nice to kind of stop there and get to visit with everyone, see who's coming, and then start making the plans for the evening, and which usually involve going to, for anyone who doesn't know, going to Crave in downtown Regina. The Bombers put on a sort of a pretty fun party, and it's usually relatively full, but it's, yeah, a lot of Bomber fans, and I think it usually starts about 7 o'clock. They usually update sometime on the Saturday to
Mhm.
let us know when it'll be. But yeah, it's one of the best parties that's only topped by Wayne's World the next day. Um,
Yes.
and I know you were able to make it there last year. For anyone who doesn't know, it's quite literally a guy who his house backed onto the old Taylor Field, and he sort of invited Bomber fans to come sit and stand in his driveway. So, the cops couldn't ticket anybody for any open alcohol, and it sort of became sort of a yearly event, and then more and more people started coming, and I kind of thought it would die out when they built the new stadium a couple blocks away,
Mhm.
and for the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, it dwindled. And then all of a sudden, it picked right back up. I'll say the last 2 years might have been the most people I've ever seen there.
It's
It helps.
awesome.
There's a little more space around too. He's on a corner, so it kind of spills out into the street. And
Mhm.
but it's phenomenal. It's one of the best times that you'll sort of ever have. And um, yeah, for Bomber fans, it's about as good as you're gonna get.
It definitely is. And I remember when you inboxed me that Saturday night, you're having pictures there with Rod Smith, Derek Taylor, Paul LaPolice, and I had just gotten back from giving my kids a tour at the tunnels and all of that. And I got to my aunt and uncle's, and they're like, "Well, Steve, you could go." And I was like, I almost went, but I was like, I'm pretty spent for the day, and you know, whatever, right? But I definitely have. I will definitely try to get out there at some point because it sure looked like a lot of fun. I mean, to be that up close and personal with reporters. I mean, we see that all the time at the tailgate at the Bombers with Doug Brown and Derek Taylor doing their thing. But when you get Rod Smith and Paul LaPolice, that's
Yeah, Derek
that,
Taylor as well too,
yeah.
and yeah, Rob Peterson was there too. So yeah, it's just
Oh,
fun that
Rod Peterson's there too.
they
Okay.
they don't mind, just chatting up with anybody, and um sharing stories. I mean, they're not going to give you too much info, but you try to look for secret info from them. But hey, it's something you don't get in other leagues. You don't have that sort of ability to just walk up and chat with someone, and they're all so gracious and willing to talk football and with pretty much anybody and about anything. So
Mhm.
kudos to them for putting up with all of us. But yeah, it's great. Other reporters, when I've seen Ed Tate there many times. Wade Miller always makes an appearance and comes through and shakes hands and does his does his thing, and he's great for that too. I do remember years ago him always trying to get people away from Wayne's World to try to get them into the Rider team tailgate. Um, and I do remember one of the guys who looks after our tours. He kind of pulled him aside and said, "Hey, like, here's the story behind this place." And you could just see like him sort of get it. It's like he didn't get it before. He was just thinking, "Hey, come on, come over here and
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
your meeting with us and be with all of us." And it's like I don't think he realized how big a deal it was, because then I'd even go to Wayne's World on, non-Labor Day games when with the season opener in 2015. We went there and there was maybe only, 75 people there, but it was still kind of a fun thing to kind of to sort of have. And then sure enough, Wade Miller comes in and says hi to everybody and greets us and takes pictures and talks with everybody. And I think he's sort of come a long way from when he was always that grumpy football player, and he gets it. He gets fans. He gets how crazy we are, and how fandom does take over people's sort of emotions, and yeah, good for him. I always appreciate it.
Well, yeah, because he understood the bigger vision of it. We see it with the Bombers now. I mean, 11th, 12th consecutive solo coming up. Season tickets at an all-time high. The Grey Cup
It's
is almost
it's the
sold out.
place to be. And it's no more evident than when I sort of sit in my spot in the east side upper deck, and you look over towards where the rum hut is, and you see probably 3,000 people milling about while the game is going on. And yeah, some are watching it on the jumbotron, and some are watching it, from the concourse, and some are just there because it's the party, it's the place to be, and I'm sure Wade, to some degree, is just fine with the attendance, right? He's fine. People are coming here and coming. They want to be at the stadium. They want to be around the all the excitement. And if it brings in, you know, very casual fans that want to do a certain thing, perfect.
Well, yeah,
People buying hats, it gets people buying jerseys and
right.
getting exciting to come down and then all of the other events and causes that they look after. It gets eyeballs on that, and that's good for business. So yeah.
And it does say something when Pembina's under construction and Bishop
Oh
Brandon, I
yeah.
know it's called a different name now, and I'm still trying to pronounce it. When that's under construction,
Yeah.
people do try to make that effort. They're making that effort to get there, be a part of something.
Well, I think tailgate culture, um, that hadn't been a thing at the old stadium. I know there was maybe some small pockets that did it before,
Right.
but nothing like what it is now. I mean, my friends and I were getting there 3 hours before a game, and I mean, Banjo Bowl, it's many hours. It's getting there first thing in the morning, but even on a regular Thursday night, we're all heading down there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so you can kind of be ahead of that traffic and nobody's just showing up right for kickoff, or not that nobody is, but it's really spreading the traffic out because everyone's realized that first season when I think we only won once that first season, so it didn't really help, but it kind of got people in that mindset of kind of like everywhere in the NFL, you kind of can't get to a stadium right before kickoff. If everyone tried to just show up at the same time, you'd never make it in because there'd just be too many people. That tailgate culture was born because people realized, I mean, why would I sit in traffic for an hour when I could just come here and mill with some friends and make some food and talk and have a good time. And sometimes that tailgate, especially those first couple seasons, that tailgate was almost better than being in the stadium because we weren't winning a lot. As
No,
evident, I think
we definitely were not, right?
yeah, Michael Riley and Bo Levi Mitchell at one point had as many wins in that stadium as our team did after going into about our third season. And my friend and I were talking about that at the last game, and like that's just incredible to think how bad we were for that little bit, and then and just a small regime change, and getting a good coach, and it can make all the difference.
It
And we're
can.
talking like this.
I know it's just, we get our renewal for the season tickets. Okay, that'll be the amount. Toronto's coming here for an extra game
Hey,
next year, so
love that. That's great for me.
hooray, right? Um, and and that tailgate culture, not just the team, and I've
Yeah.
heard this from other people. There are more tailgates popping up,
Well, that's
especially
exactly it. The
on
tailgate's out in
campus.
the
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, the whole way down. Yeah, we've been in the soccer lot ever since pretty much the beginning. Um, and like I said, we're getting there early, and it's just a thing. People are bringing large trucks and tables, and the little section that we're in, everyone's got a big speaker going, and it is a party. Like if anyone just doesn't hasn't been to it, just show up at any of those parking lots and just kind of walk around and feel free to walk up and talk to anybody. Anyone will give you a plate and give you some food and chat with you. It's such a welcoming environment. Very very similar to a few NFL games that I've been to but that tailgating culture has been around for a lot longer. So it's taken us, some time to sort of build it to that, but you want to meet Bomber fans? That's a good way to do it.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of crazy how that, culture has kind of developed itself. And then in 2023, Banjo Bowl, there were rumors, well, Strebler was there. He not only went to the team tailgate, he went visiting other tailgates.
He sure did. I got a nice picture with him.
Okay, so he visited you too.
I had my fur
Uh,
vest and yeah,
I
my
mean,
little cowboy hat. Yeah.
that's just kind of nuts, eh? Just walking about and I mean, that doesn't surprise me. That just again, I don't know Strebler personally, but we kind of know his persona, the fur coat and all of this. And I mean, the guy's a folklore. He's a forever hero of the 2019 Grey Cup, and that's kind of
Well,
carried it through.
the jersey I got, and it's got 19 on it, and I got it for the year. And on the back, I can't see it now, but I put Strevleros on it, and I couldn't really decide who I wanted, and I felt that it was I'm not a big fan of buying players' jerseys because players leave or retire or leave
Right.
in a bad way, and then you got this jersey and you don't want it anymore. And so I made this one up, and I thought, well, this will mark like a specific moment and probably my favorite Grey Cup win ever. I don't think anything's ever going to top that one. And we don't win with Strevler as the quarterback, and we probably don't win with just Kolaris as a quarterback, but having the two of them together, having Kolaris, who no one really had a book on, he didn't every game he was learning just a little bit more of the playbook, but you could tell that that it wasn't all there yet. But he had sort of just enough, and he had confidence in the receivers, and the receivers were pumped, and we moved the ball enough, and we those short yardage plays with Strevler, even with his like broken foot, you know. I don't think we win those playoff games with any one of them. I think we won because of both of them, and I don't know. I felt like making something up, and I thought it was funny, and it still to this day makes me laugh. So
That's so good.
I
I
still
mean,
have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
as you're talking about this, right? Flashbacks to that 2019 West Final in Regina, where he hits. I think it was Lawler. Or no, he hit Darvin Adams on the side there for
Yep.
that long one, and it was
He was pretty
just
much in the end
definitely in
zone, and
there.
when he let that one go, and it
Right.
was
It's
it
just
was right over
nuts,
top
right?
their all-star corner, and yeah, we got about 50, 60 yards, and yeah, it was a big play.
Yeah.
Um, Only one bigger I can think in that game was Goche making that tackle on that punt return that was probably going to go, and how three riders just didn't block him, and he snuck right through and made that tackle, and more or less, save that game from going to to overtime.
Right.
I
And
love
then,
the goalpost.
then there was the Marcus Sales, and I think I talked about that
Oh,
before. The
that ball
tip, and you
down.
just
Yeah, no, you know what? It would have looked great if you made that interception. It would have been even better. But yeah, of all the things to just fall right. I mean, I was in a friend's basement. There was about 10 of us, and I remember us all jumping up, just screaming, going because we thought we had it. We thought it was game over there. And then there was that fumble that ended up being an incomplete pass, and we thought that was the end of the game. So it was a roller coaster of emotions. While my friend and I have air miles like logged in and booked, and we've got our flight ready to go for Calgary, and we just had to keep sort of pausing it and not finishing it. And quite literally, that game ended. It hit the goalpost, and I looked at him. We're like, ready, and we hit
yeah.
we hit submit. And during our celebration, we're like, we're going.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch my uncle here. We're gonna go get the Chinese food. I was like, no.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
I was like, oh, it's not. Yeah, it was. I you know I always say 2019 will hold a special place in my heart, and ideally, I would like for 2025 to kind of end that same way. I always tell people the only thing I want is to witness the Bombers winning the Grey Cup with my kids with me,
Yeah. Well,
right?
home Grey Cup is always special. You can look at a few teams that did it in a row, and was it 2011, 2012, and 2013 actually. Yeah, three in a row when BC, Toronto, and then Saskatchewan won it. And it would have been nice if we could have also done it a couple of years later. But yeah, that was sort of just the start of some good things to come.
So how do you kind of see, the Bombers have played 10 games. I think they got another bye, maybe another bye coming up here. I should have looked more at the schedule, but been so focused in on these next two games. But how do you kind of see the next 8 games kind of playing out and
Well, we have to
kind of going from
we have to figure out how to beat the good teams and then do what to be a good team, you have to beat the bad teams. So we got to beat the few bad ones that we still have left. Like we still got to play Edmonton. We still got to play
Ottawa?
Ottawa. Yeah, like we've struggled in Ottawa over the last few years too. I think of that Crumb game when he won it in overtime, and even a couple of weeks ago in Winnipeg when Crumb comes in and leads a bit of a mini comeback, and we kind of have to pull out a win late.
Hmm.
Sometimes those wins are important, right? It still shows that even when you play bad, you can still good teams find a way to sort of come through and take advantage of opportunities. I can think of many times when the Bombers were in their sort of dark days that occasionally we'd outplay a team. We'd do all the things right. We'd get all the plays would go our way, and then somehow in the fourth quarter, you know, the good quarterbacks would figure it out. The Henry Burrises, the Calvillos, the Ricky Rays would figure it out, and they would somehow pull out a win. And we, at the end of the day, we got that L, and no one really remembers anything else of it. But um,
Hmm.
that's kind of how I feel we need a little bit of luck with the way the schedule is. We need a little luck to make sure we try to get at least one home playoff game, even if it's just the West Semi would be nice because it's a tall tale to have to go to McMahon and then Mosaic or vice versa. Um, I mean, we did it once before, I know, but
And the first team since the 2005 Edmonton Eskimos at the time to go on the road twice to win a
that
Grey
is true.
Cup, right? So these people say, "Oh, it's not a must win." No, it is a must win. Like in football, every game's a must win. Um,
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
lot
I'm
different than other sports.
overstating it, but you just look. I was kind of down and out 'cause when the Bombers first lost in Calgary. I was like, "Hey, you're going to make the corrections." They come off the bye week. Calgary has actually even a shorter week because of the air
Yeah.
advisory. And it's 17-13 and a half. Strebler throws the interception. And I mean, I wasn't at the game. I was watching it in a cottage, but I was
Yeah,
like,
that was right in front of me. I sit front row in the goal line, and it was right in front of me. And even watching that DB break on it, I still thought it was going to get there.
mm,
That DB made a great play.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they then took the ball that whatever 110 yards basically, and went down, got a touchdown. That was a 14-point swing
Yeah.
in just a matter of a couple of minutes, and that went from us having the lead to then us going down by I guess, like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah. And
So
then Clarence gets knocked out. And
now
then,
he was knocked out by that point because yeah, it was Strevler who threw that pass.
okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
When you're not at the game, you kind of lose track. And then
Yes,
going to Toronto.
we can't have Cloris, getting knocked out and missing half of a game, which has happened a couple of times already this year. So let's hope that that's not a thing going forward.
No, it isn't.
No
And it
protection
just,
for him.
maybe we could kind of talk about this for a bit. I mean, this whole narrative of, you know, the Bombers have a better chance to win with Strebler than they do with Collaros. I kind of keep hearing it. It is out there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
No,
I think
I
we're on the
couldn't
same
agree
page
with you
with
more.
this.
I love Strevler for what he is and what he does, but
Right.
he's not an every down passer. He's not going to get you 300 yards and three touchdowns. I mean, he had that great game earlier this year, and the one against BC was kind of just I don't know. I was a little floored by how well he played, but when he's coming in relief since then, he struggles to get those 5 and 10 yard passes. Second and longs are a problem, and unless he figures out a way to scramble or dump something off, and then that person makes a great play. You can't rely on that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You can win the odd game, or you can, get some drives, you can get some scores that way, but it's not consistent. You need someone who the CFL is so much a passing league. Like you don't win the Grey Cup with bad quarterbacking. It just doesn't happen. Go back your whole lifetime, and you can't think of very many Grey Cups where very mediocre or bad quarterback wins, aside from maybe Marcus Crandall in 2001. that Kansas City Chief, that
Yes.
elite cut that went to Calgary and won a cup the next year and knocked us out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 8 and 10 stamps. Yes, right. It is a
Yeah, that's
passing
that's a very rare thing.
rare.
Us winning in '88 with Sean Salisbury, who funny goes to the NFL. He was a good quarterback, but I think what we completed one pass in the second half in that Grey Cup game in '88.
Yeah.
Amazing game. I had one of the first. That's the first Grey Cup game I think I ever fully watched. I was only 8 years old, so I had fond memories of that.
Yeah, that game was predicated on the defense, and they were
Mhm.
able to win that game by a point. And as they say, the rest is history.
Mike
Uh,
Grady, immaculate interception. Yes.
right. Totally. But you say it's a passing league, but I really liked what the Bombers did with running Oliveira last game, over 200
Well,
yards.
I'm glad they figured
Ah,
that out. I mean, we have
finally.
we have the we have the MOP of the league. I get that there's times, especially in the Grey Cup last year where they said something, they audibled out of a run, I think 18 times just because Toronto stacked the box
Yeah,
and we couldn't figure out a way to get him going. But if you can't pass it to him, he can catch it. I mean, what did he have? 9 catches last week, like for
something like that.
70-ish yards,
Yeah.
something like he had a pretty good receiving game. He led us in running, led us in receiving. He was more than half of our offense. Like we can't you do that all the time. We have to, but it was nice to sort of remind everyone how good he is.
It is, and I mean maybe they were more forced to do that when Dembski and Stearns went out, and now
Oh
they've
yeah, yeah,
they've called in the backups. Um, but I thought that Oliveira was going to get more work
yeah.
earlier on in the season. I mean, people don't think he's completely healthy, but who isn't healthy these days, and that sort of thing too, right? So, um, but yeah, it was fun. Jason Hogan, former running back coach, OC. It was finally good to see that happen and kind of come together, a gutsy road win, etc. And the Riders have been in the film room this week, keying in on that game for sure.
Yeah, if they were smart, they would stop him and try to force us to win with some backup receivers. Now, Schoen's looking like he's going to play again. If Dembski
Hmm.
does, bonus. I don't know. He hasn't. He's dressed. He's been at practice and he's done a few things, but he's not been practicing with the first team. So
Yeah.
that's usually an indication. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when that depth chart comes out on
Yes.
on Saturday when we're all driving out to Regina.
It's good. What do you how do you kind of see the game shaping up on Sunday? Maybe a prediction if you're into that. I don't know how
Nah, I don't
much
know. I mean,
last year, but
it's hard to say you want to pick the Bombers just by our typical record in that building on Labor Day. And I mean, to be honest, the Riders are good this year. They're not a bad team. Like
very
they're
good
tops
against
in
the
the
run.
league for a reason. I don't know. Calgary's figured them out. Well, maybe we got to watch the film of that game for us to figure out how to stop them. And I feel we have to. Our D line has to get pressure. People always laugh at me saying that, but that's it's such a key thing to any games. You have to get pressure on the quarterback. You can't give them the easy passes.
Yeah.
Force them to have to pull out their bag of tricks and beat you with everything they have. Don't let them. Don't give them the easy yards, right? And I felt we started to do that at the beginning of that Montreal game. That rookie quarterback, we're rushing three at him a lot. We were rushing maybe three with Willie, and Willie wouldn't. He would just look back to try to bat a ball down. So maybe you only have two going at him. We were giving him all day to throw, and he was completing those
Hmm.
5 yard passes and turning them into eight. And then they were having all those second and shorts. And I'm not a fan of giving the easy yards up. I always want to feel that you got to make a team feel uncomfortable, right? Like you got to force them to have to change their plans and whatever. And if they're good enough team, they're going to beat you anyways. But don't let them do it easily. So I feel you can't give Harris a ton of time. I feel you can't give him those mid-range passes that he really likes. Those sort of 15-yard corners, those deep ins. He's those sort of corner comebacks that he or post comebacks that he's really good at throwing. If we can somehow plug that up, force him to be uncomfortable, get him into some second and longs. Hey, maybe we got a shot.
Well, and that's what Calgary did, right? They in that game.
Yeah.
I watched most of that, and it was like, yeah, there was some uncomfortability, and Calgary, took that momentum that they had there, and they kind of ran with it. So again, when the Riders have never started 9-1 in their history, I mean that's a long history since 1936. So I mean, you're bound to lose, and maybe this is the start of something, but. Yeah, I think I tend to agree. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a one-score game.
And
Uh,
we gotta hope that Lothar always seems to have his best game against us. It's not he'll miss 4 field goals on a random Saturday against Montreal, but
yes.
when it comes to us, he's deadly. And or at least it seems that weekend he always is. So let's
So I got to ask you that attempted field goal that he made at last year's Labor Day game. Uh, you're
long-ish. It was
you're on the upper deck there. I was in
57.
the end zone. I didn't really have too much of a depth on it, but what were your thoughts when he's lining up for that?
I
Did
mean,
you
I was
think?
worried because you think I know 57's a long kick. I honestly don't remember if there was a. I don't think there was much of a win that day. I don't think that was any factor. But his issue is he kicked it too high. Now it looked from the end view on the TV, it looked like it was coming straight at it. But
Yeah,
um, my little tip and trick when you're on the side, you can't really tell if it's going to go through or not. You look at the returner, and we immediately watched Whitehead sprint out of the end zone, and he's running up to the 5 yard line. As soon as he was running there, we could tell it was way short.
yeah,
Because yeah, we were upper deck, but we were kind of on the north side of it, and they
yeah.
were kicking to the south.
Hmm.
Um, so it was kind of hard to judge the distance immediately. But as soon as we saw Whitehead run out, I think he caught it on the 5, and he was already like in kneel down mode and put his finger up, and yeah, that was game. So.
Hmm.
That was a fun walk back to the hotel. I've had many kicking stones toddler moments going where we don't even get on the bus to go back. We just walk back to the hotel.
Yeah, that was I remember when turned get back to my aunt and uncle's, we turned the TV on. I wanted to kind of rewatch that whole thing. Just there's wins and there's emotion, like there are next level wins, and like, and especially when you make the trek, and you're creating memories with your kids, and like
Yeah.
you just holy smokes, what just happened here? Like my son can still recall the last 5 plays. Like it's just insane.
Well, you know what, Tony Jones with that bat down, I think that was the game that Big Hill played his last game for us. He
Yeah,
uh, he got hurt, and Tony Jones came in and he played very well. And then
yeah.
the next few games after that, he played well. And that, unfortunately, I love Big Hill. He's one of the main reasons why our defense became so good. Um, but knowing he was going to miss the majority of this season, um,
Hmm.
I guess they just decided not to bring him back. But Tony Jones has been very, very good in his place. And I will say he is the only Bomber where you have to call him by first and last name all the time.
Yes.
You can say Brady, you can say Nick, you could say you could say
Right.
Stravler, you could say anything, but it's Tony Jones. It's always Tony Jones, not just Tony, not just Jones. Tony Jones.
Or not TJ. It has to be Tony. Yeah.
Got to be Tony Jones.
That
Yeah,
that's exactly it,
he
right?
he's phenomenal. They're always popping up stats, and he's leading the league in all these different metrics, and
Yeah.
from week to week, and he's he's a bit of a diamond in the rough that we probably only played because Big Hill got hurt, and unfortunate, but sometimes that's how it goes, and
Yeah, that is kind of the business. Big Hill got us the cup and all of that. And as you say, the defense is what it is today because of him, right? And
absolutely, yeah, should get all the credit. That was his defense, and we don't win without him. I know Willie was kind of the kind of bonus that helped the D line, and that gave more room for Jefferson to get some sacks, and for us to stop that run, and
mm,
yeah, go back to that 2019 team all the time, and we were we were so injured all year long that year and on defense, and it wasn't until I think around game 15 or 16 that we finally had our whole defense all healthy at the same time.
mm.
And so no one really had a good book on our whole defense. It was just, we were always missing. I think it was one game we were missing like 6 starters. So I mean that makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I again, they were 7-2. Wheels are falling off. They got Colaris, and we all know what happened, right? He wins that
Yep.
last game versus Calgary. They go on the road. They're kind of down at half. Then they shut out the Stamps. on 2 weeks
Yeah, who
ago.
would have thought when we they were up it was like 14 to 8 or something like that at halftime. And who would have thought that they wouldn't have scored another point after that?
Game. It's just, and that's why, as Chris Berman always said, that's why they play the games, right? You just never know, right? And that's all part of the fun. And you know what? As you say, it never gets old for Labor Day. So, um, any more thoughts about as we kind of close here? Because I always like to kind of keep it to an hour, but
Oh no, that's fair. Yeah. For anyone who's never been there, embrace it, enjoy it. Get to the game early. Check out Wayne's World, 1677 Garnett Street. You definitely can't miss all the noise and the fans. Come on by and say hi. There'll be a few hundred people, and it sounds weird to sound that you're in a guy's backyard, but it kind of opens up to a field and a street, so it spreads out quite a bit, but. Yeah, and then it's just a block and a half to walk over to the stadium and yeah, and enjoy a beautiful Sunday night and sort of the end of
Mhm.
sort of signifies the end of summer for me. So yeah, it's
Yeah, then it's back to school, right? For our
yeah, that
kids
that
and all
Monday
that
morning
fun.
we get out of the hotel and there's that little chill in the air. It's
Yeah.
just it's different. It wasn't there on the Saturday, but it's there on the Monday, and it every year it's the same kind of thing.
Well, and this year the game's on the 31st. Last year was on the 1st, and now it'll be September 1st on the
Oh
Monday.
yeah, no, and that's the thing. The games are always sometime between, well, it's either the 31st or the 6th. All the social media memories start popping up, in the next couple of days, and they they remind me all the years and all the good times that I've had, all the fun people that I've met, and yeah, uh it's my favorite weekend of the year, as you could probably tell. And I mean, Banjo Bowl is also fantastic, but
Right.
yeah,
But there is something about that trek, right?
it's something about going to see your team
Going
on
and
the
doing
that's
it
playing on the
and
road.
the
Yeah,
road,
being the
right?
away fan. Away fans are so much fun.
Hey,
Yeah.
because you've invested money into your hotels and everything. Like
Yep.
there's
Everyone's
more
on
fun.
vacation. Everyone's going to have a little bit of fun. I know it's
Right.
Regina, but it is the city that rhymes with fun. So, yeah.
Oh, it's I'm having
Experience Regina.
yeah, Regina, yeah, with or is Jeffrey Bannon always says Regina? So I don't know where he gets that from.
Think that was Zach that
Yeah,
day.
but that was
Yeah.
Zach. But
Yeah.
then Jeffrey's written it on the 1930 crew. But yeah, they're both doing it. One's verbal
Yep.
and one is just saying it. So it's good. But Neil, I hope you have a great time in Regina, safe travels and all that fun stuff, and enjoy the game.
Yeah. Oh, looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Start counting down the hours by tomorrow instead of days.
Yes. Well, that's exactly it, right? So good, good. Well, this has been awesome. As always, I'll put this on the page and you can share away and go from there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
See you, Steve.
See ya.